So let's talk about some highly profitable businesses that you can invest your money and be rest assured that your money is in safe hand. These are businesses that has proven itself over the years to be highly profitable, reliable, and dependable. The first business on my list is land business. If you have money, I tell you, invest in land. Whatever it is you want to do, it has to do with a land. You want to build a house, you need to have a land first. You want to build a factory, you need to have a land first. So whatever it is you're doing, having a land will give you an edge. You see, no matter how rich you are, with due respect, if you don't have a land, then I think you're still coming up, okay? And some might say that he tried to buy a land in some location and probably the Omonile took the land back from him. Yes, this does happen a lot, but what you need to do when you're buying land from the locals is to secure your land immediately after purchase, within that same week. Okay, try to like fence your land and gate your land. That is one guaranteed way to secure your land. Okay, I tell you this for free. Once you bought your land and you fenced it round, the fence does not necessarily need to get to the top. Once the fence is visible and it is gated, right, then you've been able to secure your land. Nothing will happen to that land. Why? Because you've secured your land. And another way to be on a safe side when dealing with the locals in terms of buying land is to make sure to document all of the activity. Documentation in terms of video recording. Okay, see, when you're trying to buy land, right, from anybody, request to meet the head of the family. So who is the head of this family? Once you get to know the head and the siblings, everybody entitled to this land, whatever conversation you're having with them, tell one of your members to record everything. Okay, and the reason is because I'm actually talking from experience. Okay, I'm talking from experience. With due respect to all Omonile, in most cases they lie, right? They lie, and their story is usually like when you buy land from them and they want to take the land back from you, some people, part of them will team up and say that the person who sold the land to you does not have the right to sell the land. Then they will bring up another person and say that is the person who has the right to sell the land. And you see, trying to like engage in a case with them, if you don't have concrete evidence, they will definitely win you. But if you have video recording of all the activities, it will be very, very difficult for them to manipulate things or to lie about some things. If it is just like verbal communication, I tell you, when it becomes case, they will deny everything that they have said. I'm actually talking from experience. Okay, this has happened to me repeatedly before I also become like more intelligent when it comes to buying land from the local. So that's one of the guaranteed way to secure your land. Buy the land, fence it round, and also document all the process, everything you're doing, talking to them, meeting them, and even they themselves, they wouldn't tell you not to document the process. Okay, so feel free to document the entire process. And the next business I'll be talking about is property rental. You see, I just mentioned land, now I'm talking about property rental. So this should help you understand the importance of having your own land, because before you can build a property for yourself or for rental, you must have a land. Okay, you must definitely have a land. So property rental is just about building structure for rental. All right, this could be residential apartments, it could be shopping complex, it could be offices. Rental apartments is highly profitable, and this is because once you build, you have the building built, right, for the rest of your life. It's a passive income, a guaranteed passive income that will give you rest of mind, because money keeps coming. Your tenants keep paying rent. Even if some owe, after a while they will leave, you getting another tenant. Okay, so the point I'm driving at is that property rental is a passive income, a guaranteed passive income that you know that you have somewhere at the end of the month or at the end of the year, you will definitely make some income. So property rental is a very, very good business. And if you want to take property rental a step further, then do furnished property, either residential or commercial. Furnish your property. If it is a home, residential, furnish it, make it worth living. I tell you, you will charge very, very high. Let me give you a typical example. For instance, let's say within Lagos Island, or probably like Victoria Island, for an example, if a 3-bedroom in Victoria Island is going on rent for 10 million naira a year, if that same building is furnished, I tell you, it won't go less than between like 3 to 5 million rental on monthly basics. So you see the difference. And how much will it cost you to furnish a property? Not that much. And this is something you do once, so you keep earning from it continuously. And the same thing applied to commercial property as well, probably like offices. We have a lot of serviced offices, okay, and this makes it easy for people who want to do business to get started almost immediately. They don't need to furnish the whole space. The office is furnished, they just move in with their bag and they get to work. So you can choose to start a business this morning, and probably the following day you have an office that is fully furnished. So it's a win-win situation for the property owner and for the client as well, who is patronizing this kind of business. So yeah, property rental is also a very, very good investment that you can actually put your money. And the next is agriculture. Yes, agriculture. You see, this still has to do with land. I tell you, there's nothing you want to do in life, right? There's nothing you want to do in life when it comes to like achievements, getting things done, that land is not involved, right? So now this should tell you how important land is. Don't be discouraged. Okay, don't be discouraged. You bought land once, they took it from you. I just gave you a scope, and that is just the reality. Make sure to document every activity and try as much as possible to fence your land. The reason why they usually steal people's land is because if you buy and you didn't like make any sign, right, that the land has been bought, you didn't make any sign, no corner piece, no pillar, no foundation, no fence. So you see, by the time they come and resell that land, right, the person who will claim that he is the right owner will say he didn't know that someone has sold it earlier. Okay, because there was no sign. So he will say there was no sign, so he wasn't aware that the land has already been sold by a member of their family. But if there are signs on the land, they won't be able to deny. That's why I said you should try as much as possible to at least fence your land to a certain level and get it so that they can't even enter. Okay, you fence them out. Come back anytime, your land will be there. Okay, and if you live in it, if you're doing land banking and you tend to leave it for a longer period of time, at least once in a year, visit. Okay, visit, clear the bush and just like visit once in a while. Okay, and just try to shift things so that they will know that the owner of this land is much interested and is still around. Yeah, so talking about agriculture, the truth is that everything we consume, right, everything we consume is from agriculture, starting from what we eat, right? And it doesn't end there. It doesn't end there. Our clothing is from cotton. Cotton is from agriculture. Yeah, it's from agriculture. In our home, most of the things we use in our home is made from agriculture. Our chairs, right? Our chairs are made of wood. Yeah, that's agriculture. The foam is made of some chemical extracted from some plants, right? The clothing around it. So you see, when I say agriculture, it doesn't really mean only food. Okay, agriculture goes a very long way, and that's the backbone of our existence. That's where we get everything, even down to your phones, your iPhone. The screen is made of glass. Glass is made of melted sand. Okay, where do you get sound? From land. Okay, so everything, see, no matter how sophisticated the world becomes, everything we use comes from land, plants, and rock, yeah, and sea. Okay, and checking all these things that I just mentioned, they don't look any way closer to the iPhone you are holding or the Ferrari you intend to buy. They don't even look any way close to it, but everything comes from these four items. Okay, so and aside that, agriculture in terms of feeding itself is a very, very big business, I tell you. See, before you can drive your Ferrari, you must have eaten, right? You must have gotten something, some food that comes from agriculture. And that's just an indicator that if you're in farming, right, you can never run at a loss. And having said that, you still have your land. Okay, you still have your land that you can convert into whatever you like later in the future. Let me tell you how agriculture works. You see, to start an agricultural business, the best thing you can do for yourself is to go to a new site where lands are still very, very affordable. So you can get like some acres or some hectares of land, maybe like, it depends on how big you want to start your farm. At least like 10 acres is not bad for a starter in a location where you could possibly get like 1 acre of land for, let's say, 1 million or far below 1 million naira. We have locations like that everywhere where you can get land for as low as 1 million for an acre of land, and secure land. Okay, secure land. So go to a new site, get this land, probably like 10 acre. That's the first stage. Okay, then whatever crop you want to cultivate, whatever it is, get people, let them work on your farm. You see, one thing about farming is that you can't run at a loss. The only thing that could happen is that probably you don't make enough profits as you expected. That's the worst thing that could ever happen. Okay, but for you to run at a loss, it's impossible. And I think that makes it a very good business, because you know that this business you're investing your money, you can't lose, right? You can't lose. And interestingly, you see that land, as you continue to cultivate and harvest year in, year out, the land continue to appreciate. So 10 years from now, you can choose to convert it into an estate, you can choose to convert it into a factory. And remember, you see the money you will use to develop that land, right? You will have made it multiple from that same land when you were still farming. So, and the more the area develop, you know, it's a new site, right? So yes, farming is good, but when the area begin to develop, the land begin to appreciate, it will appreciate to an extent that the value of the land will be too high for farming, that you will need to do something else on the land, probably erect building, real estate, and all of that on the land. So you taking from farm, you advancing to another level. Probably then you take the farm away. Before it get to that stage, of course, you will have probably bought another farm much more bigger than this present one somewhere. So you just move the farm there, then you convert this into something else. And if you choose to sell part of the land, I tell you, by then you will be selling just one plot for like times only God knows of the amounts that you will invest in buying the entire land. So yeah, agriculture is a very, very good business, and that leads to the next business, which is food, catering, restaurants. Any business that has to do with feeding people, all right, any business that has to do with feeding people is also highly profitable. Except, so for instance, you want to start a restaurant business. Yeah, you need to know how to cook. Okay, you need to know how to cook tasty, delicious meal. You see, so once you know how to cook, it's a business that is in high demand. It is in high demand. People are getting more creative these days. People are spending more time working, building businesses. Okay, so people are beginning to have less time to like do some basic things like cooking. Everybody wants things on the go. I just want to push a button and whatever meal I want arrive on my desk. So that is what makes food business a very, very lucrative business. People want their things instant. I'm thinking of probably like a particular meal now, and I want it on my table in the next 5 minutes without me having to stress myself. That is how the world has become today. Okay, that is how, because if you're thinking that, oh, people cook in the house, yeah, people cook in the house, but everybody, no matter how large the family, there are still time, and even most of the time, probably when they are off to work, they try different things. Yeah, and even most people eat out. A lot of people eat out. So you can't run a food business at a loss, and the demand is very, very high. Okay, the demand is very, very high. And the next business is transportation. Yeah, transportation is also a business that people like. Well, I wouldn't know, but in this part of the world where I come from, I'm a Nigerian and I live in Nigeria. Okay, here in Nigeria, people like look down on those who are in that industry. Probably like you are a cab driver, you are a Uber driver, you're a bus driver, or any means of transportation, or a bike driver, or Marua driver, Napep driver. Okay, people look down on these people, and what people don't understand is that, you see, guys who are in this industry, they make much more than many people within the white collar jobs, and that is just the fact. Because an ordinary Okada man can boast of making like 150, 200,000 naira in a month. I've actually seen one Okada guy. You see, I met this guy like going to 2 years now. I was moving from Obalende here in Lagos, right? I was moving from Obalende to Aja, and it was around like 5 p.m. or so. That was 2 years ago. And then the traffic is usually very, very high. Anybody who apply this road usually know that the traffic within this time is always very, very high. So I decided to board a bike to beat the traffic. So the guy now charged me, I think like 3,500 naira just for the trip, right? Getting there. And in Nigeria, 3,500 naira is not a small money. Okay, he said if he was to carry two people, that he will charge like 2,000 naira each. That will make it 4,000 for him, but two people. So I said, okay, I want him to carry only me. So he actually charged me 3,500. So I, as a business person, while we were on the ride, I was like, come to think of it, this bike guy, just this trip 3,500, and that's just go to take me down there. Definitely when he get there, he will still see another person that is going to bring back probably another 3,500. That's 7,000, right? And there's no how he won't do that maybe like 3-4 times in a day. I'm just trying to bring it down. Okay, let's say 4 times in a day. That's 7,000, 14, 28,000 naira in just one day. That is over 600,000 naira in a month for a bike rider. You see, when I did the calculation, it was difficult for me to believe that this guy riding this bike actually make that much money in a month. It was hard for me to believe. And I actually asked the guy, I said, with this work that you were doing, that like, how much do you make in a day? The guy told me that on a good day that he could make like 30,000 or above in a day. Bike rider. You see, and that's a very rough work. I'm just giving you an insight on how businesses like that are. So I now ask that, okay, if you're making that much, because this figure of money doesn't show anywhere around you, so what are you doing with your money? The guy now said, well, that he didn't want his kids to suffer the way he suffered. He said he is suffering, making like over 600,000 naira in a month. Said he is suffering, that he didn't want his kids to suffer the way he's suffering, that he invests in his kids, that they attend one of the best school. Imagine an Okada rider, that his kids attend one of the best school. Then he has a building project he's doing in his village, and the way he was talking about the building projects, I sense it to be a very like a big project, yeah, for an Okada rider, which is not bad anyway. So you see, transportation business is very, very profitable. We move around, everybody move around. Not everybody have their own personal cars. Okay, not everybody have their own personal car. Before they buy their own personal car, they still need to move. So they go by Uber, they go by public transport, they go by bikes in area where bikes are allowed now in Lagos or in other parts of Nigeria where bikes are allowed. They go by different means of transportation. So if you can go into transportation, I tell you, transportation is very, very, very profitable. Long before now, places where people make real money are in all these odd, dirty jobs. Long before now, when I was growing up, there's this young guy. So one day we were going out somewhere. I couldn't even remember. It's been long. I'm telling you a story that happened maybe like over 25 years ago, so it's been long. So I think we were talking, we were chatting. So I asked this young guy, just like a younger brother to me. So I asked him that, when you grow up, what do you want to become? And the guy said, he wants to become a bus conductor. And I was like, okay, why do you want to become a bus conductor? But before I proceed there, because someone might be thinking that, oh, why would someone wants to become a bus conductor? You see, 25 years ago wasn't like this, right? It wasn't like this. You see, the young guys who are like 25 years now, they have a lot of privilege. The world has really, really changed. Far back then, people who make real money are people who are in hot job. Corporate jobs don't really pay well, even up till today. But because guys are like building businesses, building so many things, using the technology and internet to transform life of people, which is giving them more money. So yeah, there's more money now than then. So the guy, I now said, why did he want to become a bus conductor? The guy said, don't I see that bus conductor that carried us? Don't I see how much money the guy has made for the day? And truly, you see, conductors then, they usually do one thing. All the money they made for the day, they usually hold it. Okay, so they are always holding a lot of cash, as in a whole lot of cash. You just see like some thousands. So the guy, and in all honesty, the guy made a good point, because those people actually make a lot of money those days. But the problem in businesses like that is because they are not educated, they don't even know how much money they are making from that so-called dirty job. They spend the large sum of the money before they get home, because they know they will make another one the following day. Okay, even up till now, a local bike rider can boast of spending, let's say, like 10K in a day, yeah, on feeding, right? On feeding himself and probably some concubines around. So, and a local Okada rider now can boast of spending like 10,000 naira a day. That's 300,000 naira in a month. That's 2 months salary for someone else working in a corporate world. So you're beginning to see that. And up till now, right, odd jobs still pay very, very well, more than some corporate jobs, right? More than some corporate jobs. So yeah, transportation is one of them. Yeah, transportation is one of them. Any means of transportation is highly profitable. Okay, is highly profitable. And the next business I'll be talking about is technology. Yes, this is another industry that just came up, and it's coming up with serious wave, because everything is moving on into technology. Anything that has to do with technology, I tell you, that's the next big deal. And it's highly profitable, very, very profitable. But be careful when it comes to technology, investing in technology. There are some businesses in technology that I won't recommend, with due respect to everybody in this industry. We are learning here, okay? And what I'm saying is based on my own personal experience, research and exposure. That does not mean I'm right in everything I'm saying, okay? One of the industry I wouldn't recommend for anybody to invest within the technology space is probably like trading, currency trading. Yeah, cryptocurrencies. With due respect, okay, I'm just sharing my own observation for someone who might need to hear this. And the reason is because, you see, these businesses, they are highly profitable, in all honesty, very, very profitable. But you can't control what happens behind the scene. That's where the problem is. So you can, yeah, be doing it and everything will be going well, but something can happen that is just the reports that will get to you, because nobody can control what is happening behind the scene. So to me, I consider it to be a little bit risky, okay? To be a little bit risky. I like businesses that I can see that this is my money. This is what you've done with my money. You bought it at A price, sold it at B price. This is the profit margin. Those are the kind of businesses I like. Any businesses I don't really understand what's going on behind the scene, like I should bring money and after a while you give me so amount of money without telling me what you're doing with the money, I tell you, I won't understand. And anything I don't understand, I don't like to do it. So I'm talking for myself as a person, and anybody who also wants to, like, yeah, key into that as well. Yeah, so talking about technology, right? This is an industry that will remain till the end of time, and it's moving very, very fast. You see, I went into technology far back, like year 2000. Year 2000. That's 24 years ago. That was when I actually designed my first website myself, right? And I actually used this free servers. Yeah, that was a website then. Free servers is a drag and drop website builder. Everything is free domain, free everything, okay? But the domain usually come with an extension. Mine was .8m.com. I could still remember. So yeah, that was when I did my own first website then. So, and looking back from then till now, see the transformation, right, in the digital space, I tell you. So even far back then, I know that is an industry that will last for long. But now, I'm now confident about the fact that, you see, till the end of time, right, technology will keep like transforming itself. It's going nowhere. So whatever it is you can do within the technology space, I tell you, you will be in business forever. Yes, and that's just the truth. I actually started my own business. My first business was digital business, web development. That was what I started with. Okay, I was developing websites for people and all of that, and I think I started professionally around 2005. Yeah, 2005, 2006. Yeah. So then, yeah, we are using like the HTML, the Dreamweaver, the PHP, the MySQL, and all of that. But now, see, there are so many applications today that makes website design so fun, easy, and interesting. And that does not mean that the skill or the industry is going anywhere. No, it's not going anywhere. It will only keep transforming itself, okay, presenting itself in different ways. That's just what has been happening, and that's exactly what will continue to happen. If you want to learn graphics design, video editing, digital marketing, anything, just name it. You see, someone might say, oh yeah, I want to learn graphics design, but there are so many drag and drop applications that people can just go, like Canva. See, let me tell you, you can't use Canva to do all kind of graphics. There are some graphics that you can't do on Canva. This has to do with branding. Branding has to do with specification, right? Anybody who is new in business can use Canva because it doesn't have any specific design for himself. So he can use whatever Canva presents to him, in as much as it looks nice enough to help him push his business into the market space. So it's good. But for businesses who have a specific branding pattern, they can't use Canva because Canva might not provide them with that option. So they need a graphic person that needs to sit down and craft out all the curve, all the shapes, and everything exactly the way they want it to be. So you see, digital skill is just getting started. I tell you, app development, you see, it has a long way to go. Okay, it has a very long way to go. All right, so thank you so much for joining me on this video, and I look forward to having you in my other videos.